today simply because I've had something just like so heavy on me that I just wanted to share, not just with a couple of my friends, but I just think that this is so vitally important for people today just to go by. And I've been really just fine tuning some things in my life and trying to get the balance, because I'm one of those people. Everything in my life is just kind of all over the place, being an entrepreneur, being a mom, being a wife, being involved with some social things. And I just got to this place where I said, you know what? I've got to create the balance. I love everything that I do, but I've got to do it with balance. So I started reading this book on Sunday. And let me just tell you how it all started, first of all. I have really been just so in tune right now at this point in my life about the promises of God. And it's not going to be a whole super spiritual message for those of you who aren't that person. You don't have to click off. But I have just been so drawn to the promises of God for my life and for my family's life that I have been just cutting certain things out of my life, like, certain TV time, certain time I invest with particular people. Just been very fanatical about that. And I was on my way to a business meeting on Sunday. And I had every intention on going because the vice president of sales for our company was in town. And you just do not show up for an event like that. You're going to make sure that you're there. Somebody that you can learn from and glean from that's made over $2 million in a year's time. You definitely want to be in their presence. You definitely want to learn from someone like that, especially when you're in the same industry. However, I decided, we were having an event at church, and we had a gentleman coming there by the name of Dr. Dave Martin. Well, I had never heard of Dave Martin. So, I had it on my calendar, but I was thinking, no, I'm going to see our vice president of sales. Well, something kept pulling on my spirit. No, you need to go to church. So I'm being obedient to the voice of God. So I made a U-turn and I went on to church. And I'm so glad that I did, because, not discounting Mr. Lloyd, because I have just a tremendous amount of respect for our VP of sales, an awesome gentleman. I needed to listen to the voice of God. So I went on to church, got there, and there was something there for me that night. And it was talking about, let the rest of your year be the best of your year. Because a lot of times we get to a place where, we had these resolutions in the beginning of the year, we didn't finish them out and see them through. And then what do we say? 2016 is going to be my year. Well, there's 40 some days left in this year. So you still have time to make this a great year. And I loved his analogy that he put with that, because he talked about if Jesus could form a world in 6 days, you mean to tell me he can't provide something amazing for your life in 45 if we just get strategic about what it is that we truly want. So that was just profound to me. But the greatness endures. And a lot of times people give up on being great because it is such a process that comes along with being great in whatever area it is. If you're in the industry of multi-level marketing, or entrepreneur starting your own traditional type of business, whatever area you're looking to be great in, a lot of us give up on that particular area because it is such a process and we don't know if we can endure the process. But let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. Greatness is a quality that endures. So if you're looking to be great in anything, you're going to have to, it endures pain. It endures planning. It endures time. It endures rejection. It endures everything. It does. And that's why so many people end up settling for just average or mediocre, because they don't want to get in the process that it requires to be great. All right. So my thing is this: if you're going to be great at something, get in the process and stick with it. And the one thing I understand is that We want the promise of God, but we don't want the process that comes along with it. So nobody is born great. You become that. And we are, we get caught up in we're human beings. No, we're humans becoming. What are we becoming in life? So I just want you to get in the process to be great at whatever it is that you want to be in life. I look at the story of J.J. Watts. It is such an amazing story. He's a football player, for those of you who don't know. Some of you know who he is because he is definitely a household name now. But he was a football player that walked on. And that's amazing because sometimes we don't see the value in ourselves because someone else has rejected us or they haven't given us that chance, but just think about if J.J. Watts would have given up and he didn't endure through the pain, through the struggles, through the rejection, and all the things that came along with that, he wouldn't now be J.J. Watts with $100 million contract. Just because his coach didn't see the value in him, there was still value there. It was just missed, okay? And I'm sure his coach wasn't to be spiteful or anything like that, but it was missed value. But if he would have bought into the idea that I'm not good enough, or he may have needed to go back and adjust and tweak some things, but he was becoming who he is today. So that story blew me away because you can apply that to anything in life. Just because somebody else doesn't see the value in you, it doesn't mean it's not there. They may not see it, but you've got to know how much value lies in you. Another example, what's the guy from American Idol? Ruben Studdard. Ruben Studdard was the winner of American Idol. His runner-up was Clay Aikens. But Clay Aikens ended up being the one that became the household name more so than Ruben Studdard. He went on to have a much more promising career in that industry. It wasn't that he didn't have value. People just didn't see the value that was there. It was missed value, but you got to keep on going and you have to keep on pursuing because the win should always be important to you. So get out there, be great because you can. You are allowed to be great. You have permission to be great, but just know that it's a process with that you're going to endure. But the reward of the process and the win that you get at the end, I'm telling you, is going to be so worth it. Now, for me, getting back to what I was talking about me going to a business meeting versus me going to church that evening. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes you have to just make some hard decisions because everything in me wanted to go to that particular meeting that night because it's not often that the VP of sales comes to your area like 15 minutes from where I live and be able to learn from one of the best. So I ended up going to church that evening. And when I got there, Dr. Dave Martin, if you don't know who he is, please go follow him on Instagram. He is, his handle is Dr. Dave Martin. But he is such a phenomenal gentleman, all right, to start with. I bought all his books and his CDs and everything. I just bought the whole package. Why? Because I was investing in me. And he said this at the event. A lot of times we won't pay for the books or the coaching or the whatever it is that we need because we don't see value in it. But you have to invest in yourself. It's not about Dave Martin. It's about the value that he can bring to my life. All right. So I invested in everything, and I'm telling you, it was a great investment the more I'm getting into the teaching. But I had some decisions to make that evening too, because when the offering came around, I was sitting there and I was struggling with the fact that I only had like $5 on me, cash. Okay. So I had this $5, but I kept hearing to give more. Now, I didn't have a checkbook with me to write a check, but I kept hearing that I needed to give more. Okay. Well, I had just gone through maybe the beginning of October, some fraud in my account. Somebody had bought all these airline tickets, $1,600 worth of airline tickets, and they bought them from Thailand. Go figure. But anyway, so I've just been extremely leery about putting my card number on something. But I kept hearing give more, and I'm thinking I don't have a checkbook and I don't have but $5 in cash on me. So stepped out my comfort zone, put my card number on there because I kept hearing give more. And remember, I want to be obedient in this season in my life. Not just this season, I want to be obedient, period. So I whipped out my credit card, I put it on there. And ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you what the obedience to the voice of God will do for your life. When I did that on Sunday, that Monday, I got a phone call from a powerful couple, very powerful couple, that said, you know what, we're looking to join your business. And they already have strategically put some things in place that's going to catapult them. But guess who else gets catapulted too? Yes. See, when you can obey and listen to the voice of God and do what he tells you to do and not lean to your own understanding, you're on to something huge. And not only that, there's been another series of events just since Sunday, and today is Wednesday, since Sunday, that have taken place that says, you know what, when you honor God, you see the blessings that come along with that. So again, not trying to sit here and have a preaching session on this broadcast, but guys, I'm just telling you, greatness is on you. One other thing I want to leave you with is this. After church, my pastor said to me, when we were having a conversation afterward, he said, I need you to be fanatical about your dreams. And that spoke volume to me because, you know, I came home and I know what fanatical means, but I wanted to get the dictionary definition of that. And it said excessive and single-minded zeal. It's to get just laser focused on something and make it happen. And that's what I've been doing here, just weeding out some things in my life because I'm working on some things. Got a couple other things that I'm, 2 projects that I'm really working on that I'll share with you guys at a later time. But not only that, Tyoka Jackson was having a conversation with my son one time. He's an ex-NFL football player, but he was saying that I want you got to be fanatical about your position and become, undeniable at it. And this word fanatical kept coming up. This word greatness keeps coming up in my life. Why? Because God is telling me the same thing. I want you to be fanatical. You have greatness in you. You have greatness on you. And I want you to live and walk in that greatness. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving you that same challenge to be fanatical about whatever it is that you want in life, okay? Because there is a reward attached to whatever you're going to be fanatical about, as long as you get into the process and the promises that come along with those things. As long as you can get in the process and endure all things that come along with being great. So just wanted to leave you guys with that. Hope that blessed your life as much as it blessed mine. And I want you guys to have just an absolutely phenomenal, outstanding, super day on purpose, just because you can. All right, so have a great one, and I will talk with you guys later. Bye-bye.